Everybody, and welcome to the Shred Show live with me, Josh Spitz. Very excited to be welcoming my special guest, Sean Cahan, the Mortgage Geek. If you guys don't know this guy, you're about to get to know him. He is doing the right things at the right time, and I'm very excited. It's funny because we were talking before the show, and we can't believe this is our first time we've actually ever connected. I've been watching him. He's been watching me, and now we actually have the opportunity to get together. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Sean Cahan, the Mortgage Geek. What's up, Sean?
What's up, you guys? How are you?
Dude, we're doing great. I'm excited to have you here in the studio this morning talking about some of the things that you are doing to absolutely dominate the market, some exciting announcements that you have coming up, which we'll get into a little bit later.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody's wondering, and when I first saw the Mortgage Geek, I got to be honest, when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, what? Is this guy for real? And then I started diving into your content and really following you, and I'm like, this guy, like, this is just who he is. And that's what I love about the Mortgage Geek. It has kind of just become this brand, if you will. And we talk about branding all the time. Me and Jason here at Shred, we're talking about building a personal brand, building a persona, and you've done it so well. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your company, because I know you own your mortgage company. How did the Mortgage Geek even come to be?
So thank you very much, man. I've been watching you for a while, and I've always been like, man, I wish I could actually be on one of those shows one day. I'm not even lying. So I still look up to everybody. I always look up to a lot of people, especially in like the media space, and I always just trying to catch up to you guys, riding your coattails, let's say. So
you're doing a great job with it.
So Cornerstone, so in 2015, actually came from being a branch manager over at a mortgage bank, and then I had the opportunity to purchase half of Cornerstone. We're a small local bank at that time, and then over the past 4 years, I brought a nationwide with my partner, so we're very happy and blessed about that. And then I saw the market changing, and in 2015, 2016, the market was starting to shift, and it was going over to media, which is amazing because it was like the first time that real estate is actually doing what the rest of the world is doing.
I know, right?
We are literally dinosaurs.
We so are. It's so bad, dude.
It's crazy. It's nuts. And so I purchased a studio, and I was driving up there because I was like, hey, the studio, we have like a couple reality TV shows. And I was like, what are we doing? I'm sitting there with Blair, who's like my right-hand woman. She rocks it as well. So she actually created and writes all the scripts and the content. So I have two people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so very. And so on radio, I was known as like the Mortgage Geek. We just came up with it one day on the radio. We're driving to the studio. We get into the green screen room, and she was like, hey, put on these glasses. And I wore her actual prescription glasses.
No.
And then she was like, hey, why don't we put some paper in the middle and then just call you the Mortgage Geek, like, because you're radio. And we're like, okay. So that's how our first video started.
That is awesome, man. That's like one of those stories that is absolutely perfect. And now you're the Mortgage Geek.
So check this out. I now got.
Boom.
I own it. I am the Mortgage Geek.
Officially trademark. Look at that. That's awesome.
So we're like super pumped about it. So just jumping in really quickly. I like what you said on the first video, the first couple, you're like, oh boy, what is this guy doing? And when I first launched out for the first 7 or 8 months, people were going, and I actually lost market share. I lost realtors using me going, if you don't take down those videos, we cannot continue to refer you because we don't want our clients to see what's going on.
Really?
No joke. I actually lost market share. It was, if you look at my numbers, when it first came out in the first 6 months, like I was struggling. It was really, really difficult because, dude, it was new. It was crazy. Like no one's ever done that in the finance or on like a regular basis.
Sure.
So this is why I bring up that is because now after 7 months, people started going like, oh man, your videos are great. Oh, I sent out that video. It had some good content to it. Now on the flip side is, hey, how can we do what you did? And
boom.
Anyone can do it. You just have to stay the course.
Absolutely.
And you can't, there's always going to be trolls. There's always going to, like if you saw my most recent makeup video on Facebook.
I did.
So I got 450,000 views in 12 weeks on that video.
Wow, dude. Kudos. That is awesome.
Thanks. And hey, I'm going to be honest. If you read some of the comments,
yeah,
they're harsh, and you just have to understand that if you are bothering at least like 10 or 20% of the people, but you're getting 80% market share on the liking, then you're doing something right. So
absolutely. I'm going to post a link below to that video, because if you guys haven't watched it, it is freaking awesome. Like, it's one of those videos that's just like, when I saw it, I was like, that's brilliant marketing, like awesome content. Like, it was just so cool. It was so different. And like we were just talking about in the industry, that's what sets yourself apart. Now, this is a part of the story that I didn't know. I didn't like, because people are so scared to build a brand, and you went out there and you built this absolutely like kind of off the wall brand that's very, very different, very unique, but it's you. Like, now it's you, and like, it's just your personality, but you actually took a hit. Like, it actually, I mean, the fact that you stayed with it, that you stayed persistent, you stayed consistent, and now you're starting to see how long did you say that really it took to get back?
A year.
Wow. Whew. A year. Ladies and gentlemen, I want, like, that is dedication. And that is what it truly means to build a personal brand, is when you stick with it, especially when it's affecting business. Most of us would give up. Like, crap, I'm losing real estate agents over this. There's no way. I'm not going to build it. Screw that. Like, I'm just going to go back to what I was doing. But now you've persisted, and it's helping you build this absolute empire.
So I always think like an abundance, how I run my career, how I run every single one of my businesses, just based upon abundance, right? So like, if I lose somebody today, I'm going to gain them tomorrow. Wow. I'm going to gain someone else tomorrow. I'm going to lose you today. I'm going to do a loan for free today to go get 5 new loans from that same client tomorrow, you know? And I always think that a lot of people get very, very afraid of what's happening, especially with like the social media game. People get, oh my gosh, like no one liked my picture, and it's just like, you guys, like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, I only have 1,000 followers on social media. Whoa, wait, 1,000 people have gone into their device and clicked, yes, I want to follow you. Like, pat yourself on the back.
Absolutely.
1,000 people. 10 years ago, you had like a paper Rolodex, and you might know 20 people. So where did we all of a sudden think that 1,000 people is not a lot? 500 people. So they just need to continue doing it and get out of, oh my gosh, well, this celebrity has 6 million. Yeah, they're a celebrity. Like, so I think in the media game or the branding, you just have to find something that fits you. So don't do something that doesn't work
100%
for yourself, and then just keep going.
That's what you bring up celebrities, because so many people ask, well, this celebrity, they were an overnight success. I have studied celebrities. I've looked into almost every, like even the most recent ones. There's not a single overnight success. I mean, You hear their story. Sylvester Stallone started from rags to riches, literally selling his dog. Like, I mean, these celebrities, it takes time for them too. Celebrities just don't happen overnight. You are a perfect example of sharing your story. Like, didn't happen overnight. I didn't happen overnight. I was grinding for months and months and months and years. And then finally somebody's like, holy crap, like this guy just keeps doing videos and he's wearing a hat all the time. And like, it just starts catching on. And so I love that you bring that up, dude, because people get so focused on their likes, their followers, and it becomes almost a fear of like, oh my gosh, I put out a post and 2 people liked it. I can't put out, like, nobody likes my content anymore. But that's part of it.
Yeah, no shit, that is part of it. And I love that. And it's like, you guys, like, stop thinking that something is going to happen overnight. And I like that, where it's like, oh, well, look how big the Mortgage Geek gotten. Yeah, you guys have to remember, for 1 whole year, I was getting hated on. But I tried to post that, but no one wants to follow that. You know what I mean? So the reason that you don't know about it is because no one was sharing my actual videos at the time when I was getting hated on. And so you just have to continue. Now, 2.5 years, almost 3 years later.
Wow.
It's really awesome. Like, I'm probably getting 1 new loan every single week from YouTube.
No way.
And yeah, so that's great, right? So a lot of people are like, dude, I watched your videos, and I like the content that you're actually talking about. It's informational, but I'm trying to keep your eye on it, right? Yep. So.
And that's what if you don't follow Sean, you need to, because he's such a great example of somebody in the mortgage industry who's using his brand to really create a new business, and he's doing it. They're very educational. They're very fun. They're very different. They're I mean, unique from anything else that anybody else is doing right now, and which I want to talk about. So you've done the makeup one. You do a lot with cars too. And bro, you roll some freaking legit cars. Like you roll Bentleys, Lamborghinis. So, I mean, how did that come to be? She's like, hey, I'm doing something outlandish too. She's going to catch attention. How'd that come to be?
So it's all about studying where you're going to be going, right? So I studied that on YouTube. The actual person that follows and to get views on YouTube and to get eyeballs there, they like to follow cars. So look at like Doug, look at a lot of other, vehicle versions and all that type of stuff. They have millions and millions and millions of dollars or millions of people, of followers, of subscribers. They'll go to like a real estate, or like a mortgage, and they're like, no. And it's because somebody goes onto YouTube while they're in a transaction or before they enter into a transaction to learn, but that's it. They don't want to continue knowing about mortgages because they're not in it right then, right? Or sorry, they only go onto YouTube while they're in something, but then they don't want to be repeatedly coming back to it. There's no sexy piece about a mortgage.
Well, that's just it. People don't want a mortgage. People don't they want I love on the phone. That's why I love live. My phone goes off more than anybody ever doing live. Like Jason, literally gives me the hardest time because my computer will ring, my iPad. So, but when people are in that transaction, again, it's not a sexy experience. So you have to be able to attract a new audience. And the fact that you're doing that, you're finding those people. And again, it's your hobby. You're doing cars, you're doing it, but it's educational at the same time. So you're doing these car videos. David Tall, by the way, that video with David Tall, with Agent Tall, that was a cool video, man. Like, as David's a good friend of ours here at Shred. And so that was, and now you're involving other people. And now the value of that as well, like you're bringing in other people, other experts, just expanding that knowledge. So it's such a cool dynamic to see you do it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So what I realized is that one of the most searched things on YouTube is actually cars. So what I did was I went over to a local dealership out of La Jolla, and I said, hey, I'm going to have this much traffic. Here's what we're looking at. Will you give me one car every single month that you guys have on your showroom? And so we made an agreement. And so it's actually free that they give me one just completely sick automobile once a month. And then I get to go showcase a listing or showcase David Tall's Agentology, or we have a couple other ones. So what it's doing is it's driving more public information into public eyeballs into the mortgage and also into the realtor space to help both of our businesses. So,
and that's the brilliant side of it is now you're bringing attention not only to yourself, but you're adding value to your real estate partners, to other people in the industry. So you're just you're bringing more and more attention, and you're bringing it in a way that's we started about in the beginning. It's not that old, that old style of thinking in the industry, that older mindset of it's mailers. And even on social media, some of these people are like ads, leads, this, that. But it's just building this brand that people connect with, that people, and I guarantee you, we talk about being the digital mayor, owning your space. And I would say probably in your local community, people know who you are.
Yeah, so that's helped another thing. And I actually wear, so I bring my glasses everywhere. Every single event that I go to, I only wear my glasses. Does not matter if I'm doing anything within real estate or media, I'm wearing my glasses at all time. I'm a huge avid cyclist. I actually leave Friday for a 620-mile bike challenge.
Dude, good luck. Go crush it.
Thanks, man. And so I had actual suits made, my racing suits, with my picture on the back, Mortgage Geek on the front. They're bright blue and yellow. So here's what it is. You have to find something that is you, because you have to live it. And I'm truly, if you're not living it, then it's not part of you, then it makes it a little bit more difficult, So
I think that was probably, we've talked about a lot of great things, but what you just said right there, Sean, resonates with so many people. You have to live this brand that you're building. You can't go and I hear people all the time, they see my brand, your brand, well, I want to be the Mortgage Geek. You can't be the Mortgage Geek. That's Sean. That's who he is. Yeah. So find something that relates to you, that people know you, because again, we're trying to build that know, like, and trust. That's who people work with, who they know, like, and trust. And if they know you already, and you all of a sudden come out with this Mortgage Geek brand, people are like, wait a minute, that's not Josh at all. What are you trying to pull off here, dude? That's just a show. Then you're almost doing the opposite. You're hurting yourself. Oh, that's weird. So you got to find something that you're living, that you're truly passionate about. So talking about cycling, I used to do a ton of I mean, I'm here in Utah, so we do a lot of mountain biking,
Oh yeah, yeah.
road biking, and I love the outdoors. And the outdoors is where I connected with people. So I was always doing something in the outdoors, and people connected with me. You got to find that thing that you really are passionate about. We talk about passion in the industry; it's an overused word, but that's what you're doing. You're living your passion right now, Sean.
Yeah, I really am living my passion. I'm actually super nerdy about like guidelines and everything. That's how I became one of the bank owners, just because like I really like the backside of a mortgage a lot. And then I also enjoy socializing with individuals and teaching them. And so that's how kind of like the Mortgage Geek came into play. And one of my ads is like, hey, I really don't know shit about other things like other sports besides like cycling, cars, and mortgages. So anything outside of that, like who won the football game the other day on NFL, like gone. And I'm sorry, it's just not me. So I'm not. I can watch Sports Center, no joke, the same 30-minute Sports Center for 5, 6, 7 times, and I still cannot remember anything that they said. Then like this little teeny thing comes across about like a new car, and I'll read the small print while it's scrolling across the screen. I'll be like, oh yeah, I memorized that. And it's like, what? So totally 100%.
But that's okay. You're not trying to be a sports like fan. You're not trying to know every football team and what quarterback or who got this many yards. You know cars, you know guidelines, and you know who yours. And cycling, those are the things that you're really passionate about. Those are things you enjoy doing, and those are the things that you can relate with people, and people relate with you.
Yeah, no, it's awesome because then they can know that coming to, and I think that one part of the actual social branding is another reason why I created or why we came up with the Mortgage Geek is because one of my weaknesses in the actual mortgage space as being a loan officer was constantly keeping in touch with my realtors and my referral. And I just had a really difficult time coming up with like what to say. And I didn't have the right coaches there to help me and to find what I'm actually good at. And so that was one way that I could stay in front of all my referral partners and my clientele without having to make that phone call. So I think that a lot of individuals and a lot of loan officers are probably in the same boat. And it's just like, hey, come over to jump onto, the Mortgage Geek coaching program or anything like that. And I'm going to help you find what you're actually good at. And let's expose that, right? So that your weakness is overshadowed by your strength.
And I'm so glad you brought this up because this is kind of what I want to end on, because this is something I didn't even know about. Ladies and gentlemen, I had no idea until Sean and I got on the call that he's actually now taking what he's learned, taking all that he's built, and he's actually teaching you as a coach. Sean is now coaching and showing people, like you said, there's all kinds of coaching programs out there. Like, and I think you joke about it. I watched your video as we were waiting to get on the call, and you joke about like, hey, I'm not going to teach you to make 50 realtor calls. I'm not going to teach you to take donuts and this and that. You understand what their strengths and weaknesses of that LO and use those like you have done so perfectly. You've done video around the Mortgage Geek. You've done video around cars. People relate with you. People connect with you on those different things. So now you get to teach that. And we'll post a link below. If you go to mortgagegeek.com, you click on coaching, you can actually see, and you guys actually give away a free Facebook lead generation, like a tutorial, like on the website. So that's really cool, man. So take just a second, talk a little bit more about that. And if people, like I said, if they want to get more information, how they do it.
Oh man, yeah, no, we're super stoked. We actually just launched out like the enroll now, and it goes live in I think like 10 more days. So we're pretty excited about it. But it's an online school to teach individuals all the 4 aspects of loans, right? You're gonna get coached by me. You also have accountability coach, my accountability coach. So what I did was I just opened up the doors to all the people that have helped me in the industry, now to everybody. And so I have my social media coach. Now she's gonna be coaching as well. My lead gen, my partners in the lead gen, they're actually on there. So I have myself, which is called the Mortgage Geek Way, the Accountability by Shane Murphy, which is like a celebrity coach as well for accountability. We also have lead gen and then social media content and marketing and placement. So our team is going to be helping because I believe that a loan officer today has to be extremely well-rounded in the 4 aspects, or they're just going to be gobbled up by how this industry is finally changing. So if you think that just calling your realtors and dropping pies off and doing that, yes, but within like 3 years, I think that type of model is going to be gone.
I I agree, but disagree. I think it's gonna be shorter, man. I think it's gonna be within a couple of years, 3 years. I think that's the tail end of it. We're already starting to see, like you said, we're starting to see trends. We're starting to see CEOs and executives. And something Jason and I have worked so hard at Shred is like educating the industry on that. Like, guys, times are changing. You've got to get caught up with these times. If you don't, you're going to get left behind. You look at some of these big companies that have billions of dollars to invest, and this is what they're looking towards. They're looking for building a brand, really understanding yourself, how you connect with people on different levels, using social media. So, Sean, I love that you're doing it. And what I love most, dude, is you practice what you preach. You've done it. You've actually done it. And that's, you and I share that commonality. Is like when people laughed at me when I started the daily LO life, they're like, what the freak, the low life, what the hell are you doing, man? And I just kept doing it. I didn't care. Like, I just kept going and going. So, dude, so proud of you. Everything
thanks, man.
And it's been so much fun having you on the show. This is the first of many to come. This is the first time we had him on, but I guarantee we're going to have Sean back on talking about it. And hopefully as the coaching program launches, have you back on, talk to some of your students and see how it's really going for you. But really appreciate you taking a few minutes this morning and jumping on with us.
Oh, man, no, I thank you so much for allowing me to be on your show. Like I said, I've always looked up to you, and I still will always look up to you. So what you're doing is amazing. And if I can learn anything from you, I take everything that you're doing and I try to learn as much as I possibly can. So I appreciate you also reaching out to like the loan officers and showing and opening the book and saying, this is how I do it. Like that's incredible. So, and then if anyone does want to, talk about like the coaching program, reach out to me or go to www.mortgagegeek, not the Mortgage Geek, but just mortgagegeek.com, and then click on coaching. The Mortgage Geek is owned by the old guy that had the trademark, and he will not sell it to me. So it's just mortgagegeek.com.
Dude, trust me, I know all about that with certain websites, so I totally get it. But guys, cool. Let's end on this, because one of the things that I do is if you were to challenge somebody to go out and do something today when it comes to building a brand, social media, what's a challenge you give everybody watching today?
I want somebody to get outside of their comfort zone, and I want them to actually make a social media post, or I want them to actually just do one video and not actually, if you get a comment, cool. And then the other part of it, I want you to get out of your comfort zone, and I want you to go support at least 20 other people today on their actual post. So I think engagement from you also helps when you post to get engagement onto your thing. So my challenge today would be to post something outside of your comfort zone, and then also reach outside of your little circle and go comment on somebody else's stuff to make them feel good as well.
I love that. And if you take Sean's challenge, which I hope you do, tag Sean and I in the post, and we'll comment on it. We'll like it, and we'll be proud of you for actually accepting the challenge. Guys, great challenge by Sean today. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you. And all of those who joined us live here at the Shred Show, thank you so much for joining us. If you're joining us live, make sure you comment #Shred. And if you're joining on the replay, comment #MortgageGeek, because you're hanging out with me and the Mortgage Geek. Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love you. Make sure you show up, you hustle, you repeat every day. See you guys.